Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 384. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What went wrong? Where have all the heroes gone?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Adam Vale.
Yeah, how you doing?
Brian Manjoma.
What up?
All right, we got a very special guest tonight. It's been a while since we had this man on, a legend in the gaming industry. The one, the only, Mr. Richard Bailey Jr.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Rich, what is going on, man? It's been a while since we had you on Throwdown, bruh.
Yes, it has been a while. I must apologize. It's been pretty busy. But after what happened today, I absolutely had to come on this show tonight. So
yeah, you specifically requested, like, Tony, I need to be on Throwdown. I was like, let's go. Rich, you have a open door, bro. All you gotta do is just tell me you're coming, and that's it. You don't even have to ask, can I come? I'm coming, and that's it. But that's good to have you on. But Rich, to be fair, reason we haven't had you on in a while is because, to be honest, gaming's been kind of dry lately. But This news, man, shit is crazy right now. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. So you guys already see the headline right here. Starfield delayed till 2023. Another delay, right? Redfall was also delayed, but nobody was really giving a fuck about that. It's about Starfield. Let's be real here. So obviously Twitter exploded. Lots of Twitter spaces, 6-hour-long spaces. Dudes losing their minds. Ponies going after Xbox. It was bananas today, man. So
Xbox running for cover.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
Pretty much, My notifications were crazy, So
Manny going to concerts one day, his variant going to the same concert the next day.
And this is why people need to just lower their expectations, cut with the overhyping when you don't know a lot about any kind of title. When they announce something, just be like, okay. And then that's it. Because look, all the people, I can't wait. And then this shit happens, like, no, and they flip out and shit. You see, there was no need. I just wiped it off. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. I'll play some other shit.
That's it. You even notice how much to play. By the way, this is how you know tonight's a monumental night. Rich, you know who's in the chat right now, man? Our boy Fergus Mills, man.
Mills.
Yep. Division Season 9 just came out. We got a whole new mode, 8 players and stuff. I got other shit to play.
There you go. But Rich, what are your thoughts on this announcement? I know you have something controversial to say potentially.
Oh.
Yeah,
vegan?
Don't worry. We are going to talk bad about that show in the future, so stay tuned. Talking about The Walking Dead specifically.
Yes.
All right, so first and foremost, let's just say the nice stuff that you're supposed to say is that, yes, it's okay for a game to get delayed if it means that the game is going to turn out great in the end. So I don't have an issue with the delay. I have an issue with the fact that they announced this last year at Microsoft's Xbox Bethesda showcase and told you it's coming out 11/11/2022. Okay, so they had a long time to let this marinate and give you the announcement. So I have an issue with that, but I also have the biggest issue with the fact that Microsoft has no other first-party games out this year that we know about. And I feel like if they were going to make this announcement, this is an announcement that should have been made exactly a month from now when they have the Xbox Bethesda event in which they're going to talk about games that they have that are coming to Xbox. Because how do you make an announcement of a delay and yet you think that the fans who have an Xbox Series X are not going to be angry, questioning, why did I buy this console? What am I going to play? So I have an issue with that. And for those that are talking about, well, Xbox did have games out this year. I only can think of 2 games. Crossfire X, which I believe Adam Vale said was complete garbage. And MLB The Show, which is a game that is also on PlayStation from a PlayStation studio, no less. So
they also got Shred, which no one really cares about, but that's that snowboarding game.
Oh, okay.
And, was that Tunic? Right? Was it Tunic?
Yeah, Tunic. Yeah, that's the Xbox.
That's the indie game.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, it's nothing special, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why. Come on, Carlos, cue it up. Gotta have something.
Oh, gotta have some. The earliest
How did I
beginning.
become Carlos's thing now?
He beat me to the punch every time.
That's
I go to say
it.
Once he knows how the lead up, he knows it. Well, you know, gotta have
You
something.
gotta have something.
It is true. How do you announce something like this now, a month pretty much before your event, unless you have something at the event? Because
No, you don't. They don't got shit. They don't got nothing.
Just be like, yo, guess what? I know how to do hand puppets.
You know.
Hold on, turn on the light. Watch this shit go for an hour. No, they gotta have something. One of these fucking studios, they got like 20 or whatever, some ridiculous number of studios. There has to be at least a few games good to go by this holiday season.
No.
If they don't, if every game they announce is all for 2023, I'm gonna look at Dutch and like, you failed me. You failed me.
This
Dutch ain't got nothing.
This is where I want to mention Adam, and you know we're a broken record here with the gotta have something. But we've had this discussion essentially every year for like the past 5 years
For Xbox, yeah.
For Xbox.
And let's just be real here, Adam. You always say they gotta have something, and they never do.
Well, they did. They had Halo, and it was a half-ass version.
Yeah, half-ass. The game's not finished as far as I'm concerned.
It's not complete. They did have Forza 5, not half-ass, solid game, fun, but it's a racing game.
Yeah,
not a lot of people feeling racing games, just the way it is. So, what was that other one? The one with the bipolar, or whatever. The one that has the voices in her head.
Oh, Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah, that's not out.
That's not out, but we have no date. Maybe they announce a date. That's the only other thing I could think of that would
Listen.
get people out. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I'm at a point, Adam, and I think you could understand where I'm coming from. I don't trust release dates anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't. You can't. You know. So it's like they could give us all. Like I don't, and I'm not just talking about Xbox. I'm talking any company. You give me a release date, I'm saying you're full of shit. I'm just being real. You know.
It was Bethesda. That was a game that they had that came out not too long ago that was exclusive to PlayStation. We're like, oh, you have to wait.
Deathloop.
Deathloop. There you go. Watch. I wouldn't be surprised if they announced that.
No, that is good. Listen, because it's going to be a year. Right? It's going to be yeah. So I'm calling it now, Adam. Special edition or something. That's good. Oh my god! The reason I'm like shaking my head over here is because that's probably going to be the biggest AAA game of the year. How sad is that for Xbox?
That's pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
If your fucking biggest game of the year is going to be something that came out on PlayStation last year or a tired game by now, you know, come on, bro.
Unless they focus on that puck that everyone keeps talking about now, that little mobile version puck. But
what are you going to play? What are you going to play?
You're gonna play all the other shit that maybe you didn't play. I guess that's what they're gonna hype it, but I really hope they don't. They gotta have something.
I don't think so.
I'm with Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. here. Obviously, independently of anything, delay the game as much as it needs to in order for it to come complete and functional. I just want to mention, I don't like the whole, you know, the Twitter community, you know, the
trash.
Every time a game gets delayed, people react with like kind of with yes queen energy, where it's like, yes, delay the game until it's ready. And I'm like, all right, well, you don't have to fucking praise them that much for it. Like with this whole thing with Microsoft, you know, we've been waiting for years. We even made a joke about it. #wait for E3, and there's no E3 this year, so we can't even say that. And the whole thing with freaking their games is they've acquired a lot of these studios, you know, Ninja Theory, you know, they created the Initiative 343 and all of these studios. We've been talking about it for fucking years, and it's like, okay, at some point the dam's got to break and we got to get all the games. The dam hasn't broken. We've got Forza Horizon 5, which is a great game, and we got fucking half of a fucking Halo game because it doesn't have what it's supposed to have. You know, missing features. It's like, we're going to do seasons. It's a free-to-play game. All right, that's enough. You're telling me enough. And it's unfortunate because, you know, what's the next thing? Oh, we got to wait for the Activision to kick in. You know, there's always going to be a fucking excuse.
The only thing that I'm thinking that could be a positive is that they didn't pull an EA and say, you know what, no event this year. We got nothing to show. If that was, who knows? It's still early. We could get that next week after this. They could say, you know, like, we got nothing to show. But guess what? More games coming to Game Pass that you probably already played. That's all I could think of. But they're gonna do. It's still an event. Go ahead.
They're one of the biggest publishers, so they have to have a show. mid-year at least, because they have to show something like that. I'm gonna copy Adam. Who's copying me? I'm copying Adam. They gotta have something.
It's a death loop.
There we go.
It's a death loop, and if they have a presentation, I think we talked about predictions, and we were talking about what would Microsoft show, and we were just talking about Starfield, and I'm like, are they even gonna show it now that it's delayed? So. I don't know what else they have.
Remember that leak that came out of a former developer that worked on a project, and he was like, "Man, the flying was rough. There was a few other things not that great when I was there." And people were like, "Well, that was months ago." And then the current devs were like, "Months ago? That shit's still relevant now." Wait. What are we going to do? What are we showing off? And they're like, "You know what? We're showing nothing off. That's what we're showing. That's it. Spoiler." And that's it. They told Uncle Phil, "We can't do it. We can't do it."
Man, yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking about that, let me pull it up because I do want to read Phil Spencer's comic. Because Rich, I know you have something to say about this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what Phil Spencer said. These decisions are hard on teams making the games and our fans. While I fully support giving teams time to release these great games when they are ready, we hear the feedback. Delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work to better meet these expectations. So, Rich, what do you say about that?
Well, the question I have for Phil Spencer, as well as everybody on the panel and those watching the show, is what did Microsoft really think was going to happen when they made this announcement? You announce that a game is delayed that some people are heavily anticipating, not myself, because I never saw gameplay. But you announce that this is getting delayed, and then you're not wondering, so what can we talk about to let people know it's still coming? And yet people are going to have to wait a whole month to find out, to get an answer to that. So I don't really know what they were thinking. I mean, logic says if you're going to announce that something is delayed, you have to tell the consumer, well, we have something else that is coming. But we're not going to know what that is until next month. And I have an issue with that because I feel like they could have showed Starfield and Red Flop, as Tony would call it. They could have showed both of those games at the Xbox Bethesda event with gameplay, and then you announce at that time this is coming in 2023. However, we have these games coming this fall. That would have been better than waiting a whole month before letting people know, okay, this is what's coming. So I don't know what they were thinking at all.
Yeah, because you have to imagine. Mob Hits, you already know. Shout out to him for the bits. But yeah, no, you're right. Like this has been going on. I mean, this didn't just come out of the woodwork. They've known this was going to be delayed. It's just about the timing and all that. But you're right. Very interesting how the timing is a month before the big showcase, right? So again, like we've been saying, it's like, what the fuck do they have to show now? You know, what will we see?
Maybe
But
they weren't harassing the studio. They were like, you know what, we're getting close. Just keep us posted. And then the studio was like, you know what, we're not going to be able to make it. We're not going to be able to make anything to show because they could just show a little gameplay, and I think that would be enough to get the community hyped. And then later after,
that even show. You know what, Adam? I'm glad you say that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Jump on that.
And that's the thing. They haven't shown any gameplay. They have no plans of showing gameplay. So don't even count on Starfield at all. That's pretty much what they're telling us, right? Nothing of Starfield's going to be announced that it's delayed, which means that this is going to probably be late 2023. It's not like, it seems we're just running a little late. No. Now this seems like maybe a summer 2023. That's messed up.
Here's the thing. We probably. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I'm not surprised by this delay because every game's delayed. But the fact we haven't even gotten gameplay from a game that's supposed to come out. Think about it. All we got is concept art, and here's the music or some bullshit, you know? So not surprising, you know? But anyway, Carlos, what's up?
I'm pissed, man.
I'm mad.
This is the only game that I was looking forward to post Elden Ring, and my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription ends December 15th this year.
Uh-oh.
So I had it planned, playing this game, all through November, my Game Pass and stuff, and now I might not even renew it. So it's your loss, Microsoft. Unless you have a game that you can announce that's going to come out later this year. That's,
Well, Carlos, they are going to announce a game at the show, but it is not coming out this year, and that's Gear 6. I think we know that we're probably going to see something from Gear 6 next month.
The only upside with that delay, because they at first said that they were on schedule, but is the fact that they're going to be doing everything on the new Unreal Engine, and that's why.
Mhm.
And then they actually showed gameplay. They showed more than freaking Starfield, and that game is way out. And they showed gameplay, and it looked amazing. It looked beautiful. I was like, all right, you know what? Now you got me hyped. Now I know it's not that you're having some other development issues. It's that you're reworking everything on the new engine. Perfectly fine, understandable. I want the future. We already talked about it before. That anything running on that engine is pretty much next gen. We're seeing that as next gen.
Mhm.
That engine makes all the difference. So, but yeah, it sucks if they can't even announce that. What, Forza? Maybe Forza Motorsport, another one. But yeah,
Yep.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't know. It's not enough for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's sad. Chris, what's your take on all this?
Well, it's rough for them. Here's the thing: like, software pushes hardware, right? And that's what Microsoft needs right now. They bought all these studios, and they're supposed to reap the rewards of it. And this is the most anticipated thing they have coming out.
Yeah,
And it's just been punted down the road. Now, it could have looked like Cyberpunk. We don't know. Like, it could have been like, holy shit, we can't let this end up like Cyberpunk. Just push it back. But at the same time, to wait till just before your show to say like, oh yeah, this is delayed, and that's bad timing. And I think that it doesn't. One of the most important things in like any product marketing is setting expectations, right? Setting reasonable expectations. So if you have everybody hyped for a holiday release, right, you gotta freaking put out that fire as early as possible if it's not going to happen. And even the only way you get forgiveness for that is if the game is like freaking amazing when it comes out, right?
yeah,
And then you don't have to worry about it afterwards. We don't know anything about Starfield, so I can't say that. Like, I mean, Brett could argue it's the next Skyrim. We don't know. I don't know that. It could be also. It could be the same shit. It could be Fallout 77. I don't know.
yeah,
So
right.
It could be in Lego form. We don't know.
we don't know. Yeah. So there's nothing for us to say. Oh yeah, guys, we give you the benefit of the doubt. We haven't seen it. Oh, this only internal meetings or whatever. Somebody, maybe Phil Spencer was the one who was like, no, you got to put this back in the oven, man. This shit ain't done.
Yeah, it's possible. But yeah, I don't know, man.
He's like, what the fuck do you, he's like, what the fuck?
And
He's like, what the fuck do you call this? This isn't polish.
Yeah, but it's a very interesting thing with Microsoft in general. Xbox can do that. They can take that loss, right?
Yeah.
This is not Nintendo or anyone where if they miss like, oh, fiscal year, they're not going to have a big holiday title or whatever. And I know it's coming up later. We'll talk about that, but they can't take hits like that. Microsoft can. Microsoft can punt Starfield till next year. They can have their fiscal year report and just go, because they're a blip in the total report. So it's never about them. It's never like, oh shit, we took a big hit at Xbox. They don't care. They're just like Azure baby, and they just keep fucking printing money.
Yeah.
So they're fine.
And like you said, it comes down to the software. And then we talked before about the Ubisoft and all that, and they can't afford to buy them. They can't right now with all the shit going on with Activision. But what they can do in order to just sweeten the deal with Game Pass, since it's not really getting anything of quality, is if they integrate the Ubisoft that Uplay. If they add Uplay like they have EA Play on there, then maybe that's enough, because Ubisoft is still pumping out a lot of games. Maybe not what people want, but at least that's something. And they can't do an exclusive deal like the way they used to with the 360. Remember, it was like GTA had that exclusive time, and then Uncle Phil already said he doesn't like any of that time exclusive stuff. He doesn't like that. It's like, all right, well, I'm just thinking of what they can show off that's plausible, and that's plausible because right now that service is available for $14.99 on the Xbox. I don't think it's on PlayStation, as a service that you can pay for, but it's on there. I don't know anyone that's paying that amount because for what you're getting with that catalog as opposed to Game Pass, and if you have both of them, that's pricey. So I could see them this event just being more about the announcements of building their service and partnerships if they don't have games to actually show off, which would still be sad. Nothing new.
Yeah, but and now you can't, you can't even like kind of justify even Game Pass. It's like, what's Game Pass for now? Just old games. Like the promise of
yes.
brand new games day one. What brand new games? There's nothing coming.
No,
You
no,
know,
no, no, no. But you do get day one third party games. That's
some.
the thing. Almost every WB game has been day one. We had the Back for Blood day one. You had was it that Mortal Kombat? You had a few other ones, and they have a few more in the pipeline that are coming in. They're day one. So
Yeah.
some of the third party games. Oh, and then we had Ubisoft with it day one. They added the what you call it, the Rainbow Six Extraction day one.
Yeah, but other than that, it's like no first parties though. Like this
Yeah,
year,
no,
like the only one I can think of, and I keep forgetting about this because it's a fucking racing game of the new Forza Motorsport. That's supposed to be dropping, but again, it's a racing game, you know. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like I think I could see. I think we got this on the docket. Like, how about PlayStation Plus subscriptions? I think Xbox Game Pass subscriptions are going to go down this year because there's nothing. There's nothing.
That's
Unfortunately,
why unless they tie in some of those other subscription services, make deals. That's the only way I could see it, where people are like, all right, well, I was gonna buy this new game from EA, or I was gonna buy a new one from Ubisoft, but it's all under this, and they're day one on that platform. At least with the Ubisoft, the EA is not day one with their own service. That's kind of whack. It's not day one. Only I think the PC version, it's an upgraded version. It's for Origin. I think that you could pay, but the one on the console, on the PlayStation and the Xbox, is you don't get day one stuff. But the Ubisoft one, you do get day one access. So that's the only other thing I can think of. That's it. We'll see. Hopefully, we're proven wrong, and they surprise us, and they got a bunch of stuff, and they pull out what Bethesda used to do. And I think they still do it, but they've been doing it for mobile games where they do their presentation and then they say, "Oh, and this game is going to be available now." You know, remember they did that a few times, and that's great. I love to see that. Ubisoft pulled it off one time too with the the bike game that's like Excite Bike. Oh my god, Trials. They did that with Trials. I don't know. I just hope they got something to show off. They're still going forward with their presentation and not pulling an EA. At least not now. They're not. So they feel that they have something else strong to show off. Maybe they were like, there was a backup plan. I was like, what if we can't show anything off? Do we have any, at least for Starfield?
We can't assume to have a backup plan.
No, we can't. But they haven't canceled the show. And if they were going to focus heavily on it, you would think, shit, that's a big hole.
They're going to have to restructure it, I would imagine. Right. You know?
Because
I have to believe that the show was announced before this happened.
Well,
you know,
on Major Nelson's podcast, he was talking about it. It was like a week or two ago, like getting hyped for it. Of course, you know, putting the spin. But one of the things he said is like that this year they're really keeping everything under wraps. Because as we know, there's like an hour or two before we'll get everything drops. We'll get all the spoilers. We're like, oh shit. And they have a lot of big surprises that no one's expecting, and they're really keeping things under wraps. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we knew Starfield, right? We all knew they were going to. So then that's not that. It's got to be something else. It's got to be something new. Hopefully, but what he didn't say is that whatever they're showing off is coming out this year. He just said they got some good things to show off. So we might see cool gameplay of games, and then that freaking dreaded 2023 at the bottom.
Yeah. All right, man. Any last thoughts on this situation?
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. You know.
Damn, you psych. That's what I was gonna say. Damn.
It is what it is.
Damn,
well, you know, we're in the same family. That runs.
That is true. It's gotta be. It's like I was thinking.
You know, we all got. You know how family is. You got like psychic powers, even also adjacent people. You know.
Yeah. Damn shame, man. All right. Yeah. I wish Brett was here. You know, he's the big Starfield guy.
Oh, right? I know he. I'm sure he's pretty. He's not devastated, but I'm sure he's very disappointed because that was the next thing he was looking forward to playing after Elden Ring.
They weren't taking pre-orders for that, right?
No, they weren't. They weren't.
No. He never. I don't think he's never really done the whole pre-order.
No, he's not a pre-order guy. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, in general, they haven't done pre-orders. For what? They haven't even shown gameplay, you know?
No, that's why I was wondering. I was just curious if there was something like that going on.
Yeah.
You know, not Microsoft, but you know how stores, GameStop.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen that before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, man, let's move on here. Next topic. This one's very interesting, right? So this week they announced or they revealed a new gameplay trailer for Gotham Knights, right? But that's not the headline here. The headline here is that this game is not coming to PS4 and Xbox One. It was originally announced that it was going to be cross-platform and all that, right? Nope. They said because of the development that was going on, like, you know what? Let's just focus on next gen. All right. Thank you. Good. I want to see more of this. You know, and Adam, I'm going to circle it back to something you said. This is a WB game.
Yep.
So what I want this day one on Game Pass, because this looks like a perfect Game Pass game, because the game actually looks pretty meh, you know, especially the writing. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And why does Jason Todd look like BJ Blazkowicz? What's up with that?
Yo, he's got that dude's got extra neck.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, I'm Jason Todd, I'm gonna kill you. You know, it's like, what the fuck have you been eating, man?
He's like, hail to the king, baby.
Yeah, but yeah,
glasses on him.
Yeah. So Rich, what's your take on the fact that this studio said fuck it, current gen only?
I think they deserve a round of applause, and if I had some type of sound effect machine, I would play that right now. Yeah, this needs to happen. You know, I believe that, you know, you and I had a conversation before. I believe it was last year when Ratchet and Clank came out, and they said this is only on PS5. We said a lot of games coming out, it should only be on next gen consoles, not the, you know, where they have to move on from the older gen. So I applaud this move, and hopefully more developers will do the same thing and leave PS4 and Xbox One behind.
Yeah. No, I agree. And here's the thing, you know, we saw some sales numbers for PlayStation. Even though they're less than projected, it sold 19 million, or PS5, right? Xbox Series X has to be close to that, maybe 5 million less or whatever. That's a pretty big fan base. Yes, I understand you can't just buy a PS5 or Xbox Series X at a store. I get that. But there's a lot of people that own these consoles despite the shortages. So I think it is time to just cut off last gen and move forward, you know, because give us some, you know, Adam, gotta have some, give us a reason to justify the existence of these fucking systems, especially if we're not getting any first party games, you know, at least give us the good third parties.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was probably one of those situations where we're seeing with the delays. They were like, all right, listen, we're obviously building the higher end version first, and then we can start dumbing it down, but that's going to take time if you want to have all those different versions at launch. That's going to cause delays. What do? It's like, you know what? Cut it. Go with the build that you have now that's working on the current gen stuff, and of course PC. Do that. That's it. And it makes sense. Gotta move forward. Sorry, it sucks, but it is what it is. It's been 3 years now we're going on. So
yeah. But yeah, no, I'm yeah. It's crazy because I forget that this generation actually started during the middle of the pandemic.
Yes, it did.
You know, which is nuts. For some reason, I have it in my head that it started 2019 or it was 2020, which is interesting. But as far as this specific game is concerned, like I said, you know, when I heard that Batman is in it, I'm like, I don't care about these other characters. You know, I don't care. You know,
wait, no, there's no Batman.
No, yeah, there's no Batman. It's just, you know, the side guys.
It's 4-player co-op, right? At least that's what they were showing off.
I can't verify.
Well, if you know there's no Batman, I'm out. Thanks for telling me.
Well, that's what me. Yeah.
Funny thing,
go ahead, Brian.
Adam, is that they changed it. I think it's now 2-player.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's 2-player
and no Batman. Shit.
Well, I'm gonna be surprised if Batman actually will not be in the game, because you know
that's a disappointment.
I find it hard to believe the WB would say, "Oh, we're not gonna have Batman in it at all," and then this guy shows up later in the game or to some extent. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but you know, again, I want to see more studios do this, especially now since, you know, I mean, you know, I didn't bring this up, but yeah, I would not be surprised God of War Ragnarok gets delayed, and this is why. Because think about it like this, right? Before, the game was a little bit under pressure because it had to compete, right? Like, oh shit, Xbox had this big exclusive. We need something else at the end of the year. Now they'll be like, there's nothing for to compete with. We could just take our time now. You know, I could see them using Starfield's delay as a justification to delay Ragnarok. I don't want it to happen. Obviously, I want to play the fucking game, but it doesn't bode well. You know, what up, man? It's funny. You know, we're talking on our Twitter, right? Our Throwdown Twitter. You know, behind the scenes and stuff. And Carlos remarked that we've been complaining about this generation since day zero. No, Carlos, we've been complaining since day -0 about this generation. Before it even began, we're like, what the fuck is this shit? Because remember, when the PS5 was announced, even Xbox Series X, we're like, what's with all these cross-gen games? Where's the new shit? You know? And I'm sorry, I realize some people enjoyed the PS5 launch, but let's be real here, right? What did we have at launch? We had, let's just be honest, a PS4 DLC game, Miles Morales, fantastic, but let's call it what it is, right? And then we had a PS3 remake game. I love me Demon Souls on PS5, but let's call it what it is, a fucking remake, right? So that's really like the greatest PS5 launch or PlayStation launch. Miss me with that shit. Granted, it was better than Xbox. They had nothing at launch, you know? But still, it doesn't bode well. And Nintendo gives a fuck, you know? So it's just terrible generation so far. You know, yes, I understand we got some good games. You know me, I love me some Elden Ring, but that's one game, you know? Horizon Forbidden West, dope. It's just one game, you know? It's not enough. Not enough.
I've heard of Elden Ring. I heard of that game.
Anyway, Gotham Knights.
Yeah, but it's multiplayer.
Yeah, it is multiplayer, yeah. This game, I think, is slated for October. We'll see. Again, I don't trust the release dates anymore. Don't trust them, you know? So, yeah, any thoughts on this? Specifically, the game, you know, only coming out on current gen.
I mean, I just think you fired up a dozen dudes to get on Twitter Spaces for an overnight cope stream.
Yeah, a cope stream. That's right.
It had to be done at this point, though. Just think about it now. We talked about it. How long is this generation then going to last? Is it going to get extended like back in the day?
Yeah, right? Shit. Oh, that's another... thank you, Adam. You just remind... Okay. The gaming community. Man, okay. So, remember when PS4 and Xbox One came out? What was the number one complaint? The consoles are underpowered, right? We're not getting the best games probably because these consoles are underpowered. This announcement happened. You have to make it for PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah. Really?
So you first told us you didn't like these consoles because they're underpowered. Now you want them to continue making games for these underpowered systems.
It's all these sensitive motherfuckers and kumbaya like shit where it's like, oh, we need to, we need everyone to play all the games.
No, you don't.
You know, it's consumer friendly. It's no, you fucking don't.
No, you
We've
don't.
had a track record of this. We're release the games on the new systems. That's what they're there for. That's why generations exist. That's why innovation exists. Don't start creating these freaking crossover games since day one and expect any freaking innovation or any games to look the way they're supposed to, anytime soon. We're not getting those games right now. The best thing we got is those fucking Unreal 5 tech demos.
Remember, Carlos, I said that. I was like, that's the most exciting thing I saw current gen, And it still kind of is if you think about it, How sad is that a fucking tech demo is more exciting than actual games,
Yeah.
It's all of the games that we've played. I fucking love Elden Ring. Horizon Forbidden West is fucking amazing. They're fucking PS4 games.
They are. Where's the current gen shit? Ratchet and Clank, dope game, but that's one game. Name me another one, please. Yeah, exactly. They don't fucking exist. What a fucking horrible generation, man.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
Well,
go ahead, Rich.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, just remember a famous quote. We believe in generations. So this is why God of War Ragnarok will also be on PS4 whenever it does come out.
Oh yeah. That's a given.
Yeah, right.
Put your money on that.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, by the way, Jim Ryan got into some controversy, but we're not going to discuss that in here because that's a little too spicy, for Throwdown.
Throwdown after dark.
After dark, yeah.
Too spicy for Hispanics.
Yeah.
No ghost peppers here. Damn.
Yeah, no Guadalupe.
Yeah, no Guatemalan and sandy pepper. Syrian Air Force. I'm gonna upset some people right now, man. Sorry.
Wait, you already do that. You're gonna upset them even more than you already do.
Oh shit. Oh my god, I forgot about this. I want to do this at the top of the show. I want to give a huge shout out to our boy Michael Santiago, right? I was on his podcast last night, Gamer University, and we're talking about my career and all that, right? And the funny thing is, at the end of it, he was like, "Yo, Tony, your Twitter is crazy. You could literally just tweet Xbox, and it'll be just chaos." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And then I tweeted Xbox, and madness ensued. Literally Xbox, and I said this to Michael during the show. It is true. The only people who get sane people, rational people, do not get upset over my tweets. It's only crazy people who do. Like no sane person will get upset over a brand name. Anyway, besides the point, Returnal, right? Mm-hmm. Sorry, that ain't it. That ain't it. That game is only for a select few people. I understand it did well by PlayStation standards, right? But it's like, nope, that ain't it either. That is not a mainstream type. It is not a Horizon Forbidden West. That's a game that's like for everybody. That's for a very, very niche audience, So that shit don't count as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, I know people like that game, but let's be real here. Let's be real here. That is an up-jumped indie game at most. It is not a AAA game like that. It is a up-jumped. It's an indie game that looks like a AAA, but it's not AAA at all. So we're not even considering that.
It's sort of the same idea as, let's say, something like, Senua's Sacrifice. But the one thing about difference between Senua's Sacrifice and the mainstream is that it's not so hard where it essentially makes people rage quit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and obviously people are comparing it to like something like an Elden Ring or a From Software game. It's a totally different animal,
Yeah, no, it's not, because think about this, right? If you beat your head against a wall in Elden Ring, you know what you can do? Go do something else in the game. And then you come back, you're going to be strong. Returnal, you have to constantly keep hitting your head against the wall until you finally beat the game. And here's the thing about the game. Most players can't even pass the first boss. So, yeah, no, sorry. That shit don't count, No,
I just think like that game, Returnal, and whatever else was going to be coming out at the same time, it's I don't think a generation is going to hinge on something on Returnal. Returnal
that's not a system seller.
It's who's a what's it, whatever game that is, showcase game and Returnal.
Yeah,
it's not.
The Eternal's it's like French fries. It's not the main thing. It's just a side thing.
Exactly.
So if French fries is your main meal, that's a fucking problem.
Well, I mean, it's like you get the extra, they have a whole menu, and they got the shake. You don't need the shake. You can't hinge your meal on the shake, but it's there.
Returnal's the mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, it's the mozzarella sticks. It's the additional
Can we stop talking about the food? You get me horny.
Yeah,
it's the beef-paparu. No,
yes. Demon Souls was a PS3 remake. It was fantastic, but it was a PS3 remake. Come on now. Let's just be honest here. All these games are up jump. The only one you could really think of that's like a game that was supposed to be a system, which it wasn't, was Ratchet and Clank. But historically, that series has,
Yeah, historically, a generation has never been hinged on a Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah.
You can even look at the numbers. It did very well, but it didn't do like cornerstone, big title numbers.
Yeah, thankfully it didn't do lower. It did what was expected of the series.
It did. Yeah, it did what the series usually does.
Yeah, Halo Infinite's not an Xbox Series X exclusive though, man. He said a Halo Infinite. Nope, that's on Xbox One too. So that game don't count. I'm telling you, this generation's whack. You can't tell me otherwise. Anyway, let's move on. What the fuck are we even talking about? All right. Anyway, let's talk about Switch. Let's talk about Chris. Get ready for this one, man. So the Nintendo Switch has reached sales of 107.65 million units, right? But apparently, sales are down by 20% compared to last year. Very interesting.
Everybody got one already. Shit.
Yeah. So, Chris, what's your take? Oh, by the way, we also got to talk about the fact that Switch got a price drop, like an official price drop. I don't know if that's temporary or not, but that's kind of interesting too.
That sounds like hell freezing over.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
Never does that.
Yeah.
Well, they only do that when sales are poor or falling. right?
Mm-hmm.
So remember the 3DS? Remember when it launched that?
Yeah.
I forgot what the original asking price was, like $180, whatever. It was outrageous, right? Sales were stagnant, like, and it's a launch system, right? It's not moving. They dropped the price. What, 3 months later? So this is a maneuver. Also, they're probably gonna start phasing out the current Switch whenever they decide to introduce the Pro one or whatever they'll call it, the Switch 2, whatever it is. But their numbers even last year, the end of the fiscal year was down. I don't remember. It was like 18 or something percent lower than the year before. So remember, their pandemic sales were huge,
Yeah.
huge. That was
That's
the
right.
best year they had. Fiscal year 21 was the best year the Switch had. Right? And what was that? Oh, everybody's stuck at home. Switch sales through the roof. Animal Crossing sold like a billion copies. People didn't even have the system bought Animal Crossing. They just looked at it. So now everything is starting to trend downwards. The next projection for the next year is lower than this year. But here's the thing too. It's like after that 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 fiscal year 21 where they had big launches. They had the first new batch of Pokemon, that Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee did very
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and they had Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing did huge. They don't have games. The most anticipated game for the last like several years, but I mean, really, for this past year now is Breath of the Wild 2, and they have nothing to show for it. They literally people have been making fucking videos based on the 4 extra seconds of footage they showed
Oh God.
with a broken Master Sword, and people have been making theory videos. I'm like, don't even give them any attention until they show something. Like, don't say anything. I don't think that game is launching this year either.
But
I think
yo,
that game is gonna come out probably spring of next year.
yo, Chris,
Yeah.
you think the Breath of the Wild tease is bad? I mean, just think about Metroid.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
We don't even have any footage for that.
you
We
just
got
got a
a
logo. You know.
logo.
Yeah, that logo, man. But so they have a deficiency of tiles. Yeah, they got they got third party support, but this is the same argument could make for Microsoft. It's like, oh, they have third party support. Yeah, okay, everybody does. You have to justify people's purchase of the system, right? They want those exclusives, and people especially buy Nintendo for the exclusives, and they'll have it. Like this year, they're gonna come out with what, a new Pokemon game, another one, right? So for the last 3 years, their holiday's been carried by Pokemon. Eventually, that kind of fades off. You know, you can't. It's like you can't just keep uh banging on with one series. Like you need, even Assassin's Creed needed a break. Guitar Hero got run into the ground. You cannot, even a huge something that's huge and popular cannot be sustained annually, right? It just burns out.
Unless you Call of Duty, that shit just it just keeps going.
But even that has faltered, right? They'll make a game that missed. They're like Advanced Warfighter missed. Like they'll make Call of Duties that just don't hit, right? You cannot keep sustaining that kind of pace every year and continue to have sales trend upwards, right? That's what you want. Ultimately, you want more people investing in the software, more people invest in the hardware. You want to attract more people in, and you can't do that if you're just giving them the same thing over and over again. So with this, I'm not surprised by this that sales have fallen, and then you're starting to hit the peak that PS2 has been sitting on for what, like 20 years. Like you're approaching that peak, right? That hasn't been surpassed. So I think that even their projection of 21 million is generous to themselves. I don't know if they'll hit that, but I'm not. I'm just speculating. I'm not putting on my prediction hat for that. It's just that I think that the Switch has kind of hit the saturation. I mean, it's beat the Wii at this point. I think it's a few million over the
Yeah,
Wii.
it has. Yeah.
Yeah, so it beat the Wii. But to break into new markets and and attract new people, you need newer games, and I don't think Pokemon is going to push that much hardware sales now. Breath of the Wild could do well. New Mario could do well, but they haven't even said shit about Mario. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect when around E3 time if they do their treehouse shit and they announce more stuff. I don't know. But even then, like Adam said, everybody who wanted the Switch kind of bought one already or has gotten their hands on one. So you're just pushing software onto existing customers, right? You're not attracting new customers. So it'll be kind of tough. It's like, I don't think, but that's just from my perspective, I don't think like Pokemon or anything is pulling in newer people, maybe young kids, but not older gamers. And then you don't with your third party offerings. It's like hell. Am I gonna play Monster Hunter on there or on the PC? I'm gonna play it on the PC, right?
You
It
know,
looks better, right? And there's plenty of those examples. It's like, oh, they just got this on Switch. Yeah, but I played that last year on PS5. It's like,
Yo,
it's
yo,
yeah.
Chris. So you're saying how are they gonna attract more customers? And this is and the answer is they're gonna bust out a Nintendo. How did the DS get more customers? How did the 3DS get more customers? How did the Game Boy get more customers? They always go to their strategy where they do an iteration on the same thing that people lose their shit over. We got the 3DS, we got the 3DS XL, 3DS, the 3DS 2DS or whatever, and then we got the Game Boy Color and all this stuff.
Right, but
So we're getting
they always had tiles to reflect those. Remember, a hardware refresh is just a refresh, right? Oh, we have this newer, sexier version, which means that you have to convince the guy who already had the GBA or the DS, like, oh, I need this newer DS now, right? Why do you need to? What you're going to stare at the 3D screen? No, you're buying it because it came with, or they're selling it with like, oh, they ported Metal Gear to it, or they have Street Fighter 4 running on it, or something. Like you had some kind of selling point that people are gonna adopt it, right? It's not just the hardware. Hardware it doesn't sell itself, right? Putting a new kickstand and an OLED screen on the Switch is not a reason to buy a Switch, right? The reason you buy it is for Mario and
Remember,
Zelda and
saying that
Pokemon and all that stuff.
for the what they call the new 3DS XL, their selling point was the software that it could support Super Nintendo games, and they only released like a handful. And
Right.
then
Well, so that's a good point, and that brings me to another theory. I think that if they're like old Nintendo and they've very much acted like it, I think there's a very good possibility that if they introduce a Switch Pro or Switch 2, that, and it would be a complete dick move, that newer games like Breath of the Wild 2 can only be supported on that revision of Switch.
oh yeah,
oh
I
that
see that.
wouldn't be
Yep,
beneath them.
yep.
You know
That's
that.
not beneath it because that how do you artificially push sales, right? Well, you guys wanted Zelda, but unfortunately, it doesn't
I
run
got,
on the
I
Switch.
got
You're gonna need a new one.
this is the fix for it. They'll just say, oh, you could play it on your older and your current one. You just have to play it through the cloud. You have to do the cloud version.
Right?
But if you want to install, then
E- Everything on the cloud is janky too. On
exactly.
Nintendo, everything. So yeah, that's not beneath them. They've done shit like that. Like Adam pointed out, the 3DS, new Nintendo 3DS. Oh, you want to play Super Nintendo games? Guess what? It's only supported on that one. Yeah, you got 3DS. That's too bad. You buy the new one and you can play Super Nintendo games. So this, to me, like they would have to adopt those kind of tactics that they've done before to kind of push stuff to push them over the hill. And the thing is, things are trending down. So the only thing they could do, Carlos is right, to do a hardware refresh, but you have to do a major one. No more like, ooh, we have a better screen, and look, we fixed the kickstand, and wow, you can actually plug a headphones into it and talk through it. No, not that. That's not enough. It's got to be the core hardware has to be improved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
we
agree.
already kind of reached the reach limit. That thing was limited from launch, and
Yeah.
it's just aging faster now, especially with these new consoles out. It just looks terrible in comparison. So yeah, again, and I've said this before. I believe that we may see Breath of the Wild 2 on the regular Switch and the new one. But like you said, Chris, maybe you're right. Maybe say, fuck it, you got to buy the new Switch. You got to buy Switch 2 for this. They could do that too. Nintendo's Nintendo's probably the shadiest like company out of the big three. You know, so I wouldn't put that shit past them at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Everybody points fingers at like, I mean, there's things that Sony and Microsoft does that, they get the anti-consumer label and people go back and forth. I'm like, well, shit Nintendo does is like terrible. They've had a history of anti-consumer stuff.
Yeah.
It's like these are the guys who sued Blockbuster to try to stop game rentals from happening back in the 80s.
Yeah, and how they strong arm developers is going, no, you're only going to release shit on our system,
Right?
Like
They bankrupt
thugs, man, the gangsters. I remember the bunch of gangsters, Adam, remember Console Wars, the book? Like, when I read that shit, I'm like, damn, Nintendo hasn't changed. They've been this way forever, They're
the reason why Metal Gear came out on a company called Ultra.
The Ultra, yeah.
Because
that's right.
There was only a certain amount of games they can release per year, and then it's crazy.
Yeah, companies had to make like shell companies. Konami, Ultra Games is not a real company. That's Konami,
Yeah.
Wasn't Ninja Turtles on Ultra as well?
Yeah, it was Ultra.
Yeah.
But it's funny, whenever you pause those games, they all made that same pause like boo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute. Doesn't say Konami, but that's the Konami noise.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? And Chris and Manny, you'll get this. Remember when Marvel was first coming out, Marvel Comics, DC was, or the company was actually printing the books, and they could only print a certain amount of books. So they would do is they would just commandeer older titles, and it's like Tales of Suspense. It was really the Thor book or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it was the same kind of thing. It's crazy, man. So Nintendo always been like that. Shady fucking company. Anyway, any last thoughts on this?
I mean, I'll look at it carefully. Like, I think that I got to look at their financials to see. But this projection, I think this projection is kind of like 21 million. I think it's kind of generous, unless they have something up their sleeve that I don't know that they think is going to give them a boost, even though it's on the downward trend. I don't see them hitting that.
Oh yeah,
21 million.
No, that ain't happening. All right. By the way, speaking about more sales here, Elden Ring has surpassed 13.4 million units sold. That's incredible. Like easily From Software's biggest selling game. I think that's safe to say at this point, right? Go ahead.
Is it safe to say that is going to be Throwdown's Game of the Year?
It may be, because there's nothing else coming out this year.
Oh yeah.
There's no competition.
Turtles.
Come on, Adam.
Whoa. Streets of Rage 4 was our game.
That wasn't a game of the year, but it was a dope game. Ninja Turtles is gonna be fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but like in terms of like big AAA games, like this is it. Well, the Turtles, please don't fucking get delayed, please. I'm scared right now, bro. It's serious.
Well, their reps. What was it? One of the guys. Oh man, I'm blanking on his name, but I'm talking about, Rich, from Boston, who was at PAX. I'm blanking. Ricky. Ricky went. And he met with the reps.
Yo, Rich, you remember Ricky?
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
Ricky. And the reps told him it's definitely coming. They were there. They had a showcase at PAX, and they told him, no, it's coming. It's coming. So,
yeah, they said summer, but they did not say what month. They just said summertime.
Motherfuckers could release a shit on September 20th. Technically,
Summer, it's always somewhere.
So let's see. A previous report, where am I reading this from? PC Games. And a previous report stated that cumulative worldwide sales of Elden Ring has exceeded 12 million by March 16th, meaning that it racked up another 1.4 million units sold in the last 2 weeks of that month. Pretty damn good, It's definitely not a niche game, as some people would say,
Mm-hmm.
So pretty awesome. Not much to say about that. Just had to throw in there because Elden Ring's the shit.
Do we have sales number for another game that came out roughly the same time?
We do not.
Funny.
Yeah.
We do not.
Wait, hold on. Which game? Which game?
Horizon Forbidden West. and Rich, if the game sold a lot, Sony would be boasting about it.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard shit. Isn't that interesting?
Kind of sad.
It is very interesting.
All right, man. So move on here. Just a quickie. The rest of these stories are going to be kind of quickies, but whatever. Dead Space remake. I'm laughing because the story's a release date. Okay, bruh. Okay. You know, Dead Space remake has a release date of January 27, 2023. We'll see about that. I don't trust any of these fucking release dates anymore, man. You know?
Oh,
Go ahead, Rich.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't trust the release date, but again, that's another one. It's only coming to next gen, so I do
That's
applaud
good.
that decision. Yeah.
That's good at least, but you know, again, we'll see about that. But like I said before, I'm not exactly enthusiastic about it just because I feel the first Dead Space is perfect as is. You don't need to remake it. I also feel this way about Resident Evil 4, right? So, and they already said they're going to make some substantial changes to the game. And Brian, you know what phrase worries me the most, right? We're going to make it more accessible to a modern audience. You know?
I mean, I always wonder what that means.
Because you know what it means, but we're not going to talk about that.
But I mean, like
for
Dead Space, is there what needs to be modernized for modern audiences?
Nothing. But
what are we going to get to? What are we going to get to know to get a deeper knowledge into what's going on in the conflicted mind of the necromorphs?
They can't change it too much, or else it'll be a different game. It was just that one engineer, and you can't really put a focus on who he is. Even if they decide to say, you know what, it's either a man or a woman, whatever, it doesn't matter. You put on the suit and you play under a suit.
Is that motherfucker you're just gonna all of a sudden start blabbing and shit like like he did in the second one?
Maybe, who knows? Different voice work. That's the only thing I can think of.
But they said they said they're gonna make story changes. You know.
But yeah, again, what needs to be changed in that story?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not looking forward to it, because I think they're gonna fuck it up. You know.
I don't think there was anything.
Well, they already if you watch some of their tech videos, they already did some interesting changes into the game, which is like, so they showed the evolution of a room from the original game, and then how they improved that room, right? Putting more visual storytelling or something like that in the room. But like, so it was like, the idea was it was like a radiology room or something like that. So in it was like a few lockers and some things on the floor, and it had said one portion of it says, "Is it safe?" on the floor, which is, if you know what that's from, right? That's from Marathon Man, isn't it? I think it's Marathon Man.
As long
it's the one. In the movie, there, "Is it safe?" is a line where this guy's getting tortured, trying to get this information from this, the villain of the story. So it has to do with dentistry. Anyway, they revamped the whole room, but it doesn't say "Is it safe?" anymore. I'm like, that's the joke. So hopefully that the rooms are, the updates that they're doing aren't just like stupid updates where they just need to throw a bunch of more things on the wall.
Well, what if they took more things out, like the babies? Remember the baby room, the nursery, and having to kill all the little mutated babies?
That's from 2, isn't
that the second one?
Isn't that what this is? This is
1. This is 1.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was 2.
Yeah. Anyway, any last thoughts on this?
No.
All right, man.
Did you add FIFA on that list? Did you put the FIFA on that list?
What you could talk? I don't know what's going on with FIFA. You could talk about it. What's going on with FIFA?
EA dropped FIFA. FIFA's done.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, we knew it was coming though for the long time. At least people that play the game, they knew the community. They knew this was happening because the organizers of FIFA were bitching a while ago. Oh well, we want more money, and we're gonna start thinking when the contract's up, looking for other partners. And then the EA execs came out and says, no one even knows what FIFA stands for anymore. If you tell a young person today, tell me what's FIFA, they're gonna say it's a game. They don't even know. FIFA, the organization, doesn't have the power that it used to. Because it's only the World Cup that they put together.
Yeah.
You got UEFA does Champions League, and then of course all the other leagues that are out there. And EA already has established different contracts with all of them. So EPL, La Liga, Serie A, all the big leagues around the world, those are all separate contracts. That's not FIFA that they're paying to get those things. FIFA can't do that. FIFA only provides the World Cup. So anyway, EA came out this week and announced we're done. It's now EA Sports FC. After 2023.
Interesting.
So after this next one coming, it's just EAFC. They said everything is going to be the same as you know it, like all the modes, all the clubs, because those are all separate contracts. The one big thing that's going to be cut out is the World Cup. But even when that happened, that's every 4 years. And remember, well, maybe you don't, but a lot of people that play, they know that EA used to make a separate game just for the World Cup. And eventually they would come like a little update and stuff because it's just a tournament. And national teams and all those teams, they're already in FIFA, the game itself. So it doesn't really make a difference. And they said they were paying a ridiculous amount of money, and there was no reason to even renew that. So it's just going to be EA Sports FC after 2023.
So is somebody else going to pick up the FIFA license? Like,
they said they're going to shop it around. They're going to shop it around. That's one of the things. But you're not bringing much to the table besides a tournament that only happens every 4 years.
Yeah.
And then even at that point, there's other things that go into it. And people think, oh, well, Konami. I saw a lot of talk. Konami's going to jump on it. They have Pro Evolution Soccer, and it's possible. But Konami also wasn't making too much money with that game, which is why they made it free to play. Because they were like, well, we can't really compete with the EA one because they don't have the licenses for all the club teams. They were getting certain licenses for like some players, or they had for a while just Barcelona and the stadium. They couldn't get the whole league because those deals are already with EA, and EA keeps all those deals going because they make a killing from Ultimate Team. It's like, it's one thing when you're like, oh, but we have a game. Yeah, but do you have an Ultimate Team that the card base that's generating money? It's just crazy how much money they make. Remember, we saw a report last year. It was like something in the billions just from Ultimate Team alone. So that's it. So we got EA Sports FC, and I'm not stressed over it. I'm okay with it because, like I said, if we ask anybody right now, what does FIFA stand for? They don't freaking know. They don't know. And
it's French.
It's French, but it's a funny thing. If you look it up, it starts with an I. It's the International Football Association. It doesn't even start with an F. It's weird, but
it starts in the French. In the French
version, yeah, and then the version. But the way it comes up, and if people just Google it, but it's all right. It's all right. I don't see it as a big deal. Some people were paranoid because they were thinking, they're like, oh no, now we're going to lose all the clubs, and this not understanding that that's not how this worked. It was just a World Cup. Those deals are all separate deals. Each league, EA had to make separate deals for each one. And then in some cases, they had to make deals with the players. Sort of like what happened with the NBA 2K series. They had to make specific deals with like LeBron James and the MJ and all that, because you would have everybody, and you would see number 23 for the Bulls. You wouldn't.
The roster center or the roster forward. That's what they used to call them.
Yeah, so they make these deals to get those across. But that was the big news, at least in the soccer gaming world, that happened this week. So.
It's interesting. All right, moving on here. All right, so this is also interesting. So PlayStation Plus subscriptions are dropping ahead of the new tiers. So I'm guessing people are just going, they got this new thing coming on. Am I going to renew? Is that what's happening here?
Well, I mean, maybe they feel that the price hasn't really gone up. They just have additional tiers.
Yeah, and this isn't a rumor, by the way. This is coming from Sony. It says Sony has revealed that the active monthly users and PlayStation Plus subscriptions have dropped recently.
I think people are just getting tired of paying for all this shit constantly. We've seen like drops on every single streaming platform and subscription platform. I mean, money's fucking tight.
Yeah, there's just
money's fucking tight. Like Netflix just said that they had a bunch of drops. Her Disney's is also dropping too. It's because people are just like all this. And then what was it? Netflix, and for Netflix, it was that they raised the pricing. So they raised the price and they canceled a bunch of shit. So of course people are gonna be unsubscribing.
On PlayStation, do you need Plus to play the free-to-play games like Fortnite and stuff? Do you need Plus? No. There you go. So,
but I think it's even free if you're for online mode, because most of the reason why you're on Plus is that you're also paying for to get connected with their online mode.
So if that's what I'm saying, if people aren't playing multiplayer games, and if they do play, they play the free to play ones, and that's free to play with online without a sub, then you can save a few extra bucks. Especially with the plus offerings, there's not much there. Like even games with gold has been weak. It's nothing special. If it wasn't for the Game Pass, it's like, yeah, cut that shit too.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, again, money's tight, so it doesn't really surprise me that essentially what is pretty much a recession that we're going through right now.
Yeah.
we're heading, we're getting there.
You know, we're getting there. So it's like obviously things are going up, but everything's going up, but nobody's talking. Talking about why the fuck is everything going up when people don't got no more fucking money.
Exactly.
Sorry, the Biden checks ran out months ago. They're not years ago.
And that's why I found it funny when they're like, "Oh yeah, with Netflix, we're gonna raise this and do this." I'm like, "This is the worst time," because when money's tight, that's the first thing to go. It's like, do we really need to watch all
subscriptions?
These
yeah,
cut that shit. That's it. We need the light more than we need to fucking watch the new Cuphead series. Come on now.
Exactly.
Yo, by the way, is every fucking video game gonna get a TV series now?
What just got?
Oh, you saw the Sonic one?
Well, there's a Sonic one, there's a Cuphead one, there's a Halo one, there's the Alan Wake that got shown. I guess
We
shown.
got the Resident Evil. I just saw that.
Resident
today.
Evil one. I'm like, it's getting ridiculous, man. These video games don't have good stories.
Yeah.
Alan Wake has an interesting story.
I couldn't.
You
like,
just walk around. You just walk around and flash your shit, flash your flashlight around.
It's controversial. We don't flash.
It's a great game, but I mean the story.
Man, Resident Evil, I don't know. It looks like trash. And that last movie too was trash. The Welcome to Raccoon City, it was garbage.
Basura.
I love how with like the Resident Evil stuff, they somehow make the previous one look good.
Oh wow!
Because like first came like the Mila films. Well, the first one was okay, and then the next one was like, okay, it's worse, but then makes the previous one look good. But then you go down all the way to like the last one. It's like, yeah, this last one makes like the first three kind of look good now, and then you get like the Raccoon City ones. Like, yeah, it makes all the Mila ones look good now.
So Brian, you're saying it's just successive gaslighting? So the Paul W.S. Anderson looks like a genius at this point.
Well, if you've seen the trailer for this one, it's like, yeah, you know what? These Resident Evil films are actually not that bad. Like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on? It's like Star Wars. You know, like we used to think that like the prequels were like the worst thing, and then the new ones came along. It's like,
oh yeah,
well, the prequels, they weren't that bad considering.
That's not so bad. I don't know. But to answer your question, Carlos, yeah, it's kind of insane. And it's happening all at once. Like they're just popping out video game properties. I have not heard a good thing about the Halo show either.
No, which is funny because the critics have enjoyed it. At least the Metacritics hasn't been too bad. But I'm watching this. I'm like, man, this is boring, and it's just not doing it for me. And there's only 2 more episodes. We have episode 8 that came out today, and then next week 9, and that's it. It's done. And I think I got to look it up, but I'm pretty sure I heard that it got renewed for a 2nd season. Like Picard was gone.
I don't understand that.
3rd season, so I really don't understand. Holy shit!
But they're like greenlighting stuff before it's done.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they go based off of the views and stuff. Again, we don't see these numbers. It's not like TV where we get the rating system. We just don't know. It's whatever they tell us, or if they cancel something short, then we know. Oh well, I guess no one was watching it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not interested in that shit. All right, kind of related. So Sony CFO says that putting games day one on PS Plus would devalue them. Very interesting.
I mean that's what they said before.
Yeah, Jim Ryan said this. Jim Ryan said this, but this is like Sony's. You know, Sony, not just PlayStation.
Sony.
You know? But the interesting thing is, so this dude tweeted this out, right? Or somebody tweeted out, and Sean Layden agreed.
Yeah,
interesting.
Well, he's right.
Yeah,
because the thing about it is, like, it's what happens when you put things onto streaming platforms. It makes these things disposable. As much money as you spend on these sorts of things, it just becomes something that people eventually just throw away. So I think that's what they're sort of going with, you know. you got to think about it. Like, obviously for the consumer, a streaming platform is incredibly good, but it's not good for the actual developers. So, or the actual video game studios. People need to buy the thing of the plain and simple. People need to buy it, and if buy these games, and if obviously if you have a big old company like Microsoft who's willing to take the loss on something, okay, that's fine because they're trying to push that platform. But that's the Netflix idea, where essentially you just keep throwing money at something, but it's a situation that you cannot continue, and which is what happened with Netflix recently. They were pouring money into all these different things, and then essentially the bottom fell out. They have to keep making content to keep people coming back, as opposed to the other way around. So I think that's what the whole situation is here. For the consumer, yes, it's a really great thing to have a streaming platform, but in the end, there are no sales coming in. There's no real sales coming in from that, and they're betting on the idea that these games are going to, that it's going to make more people come in. Now, here's the thing. This can also change for Sony. If, again, once they see that this Microsoft platform is working, their ecosystem is working, they will do the same thing. They will follow suit. But as things are going right now, their system seems to still work. Right?
Yeah.
Physical copies, like physical copies of Elden Ring are selling, are selling. Physical copies of Horizon, they were selling. All those games are actually selling. Now, if it was the other way around, where is it? Like, you don't hear Halo numbers. Like, you don't hear the sales numbers for Halo. There probably isn't even any Halo sales numbers.
They don't even have co-op yet.
They don't even have co-op yet. So,
man.
again, once the system switches, once the establishment switches, then you will see Sony making a active stab at trying to do the same as something very similar. If you look at any of their history, again, their streaming platform is a toe dip. That's all it is. Until the other guys start making money on it, and all the other companies are start doing it, that's when they will follow suit. That's when they will make their Wiimote. That's when they will make their handheld, because they see somebody else is doing it already, and they're like, well, we can do that too.
Yeah, we've seen the results of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to read what the CFO said here. See if I can. Oh, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
No, please do, because I have some things to say about what he said.
Oh boy! All right, so this is translated, obviously, he said in Japanese. So he goes, AAA titles on PS5. If we distribute them on that subscription service, we may need to shrink the investment needed for that. That will deteriorate the first-party title quality, and that is our concern. So we want to make sure we spend the appropriate development costs to have a solid products translated and titles to be introduced in the right manner. So what's your take, Brian?
Does that not come off as a bit odd? Like they're saying that if they put it on PSN Plus day one, then it may mean that they spend less money making their own games, and hence the quality will go down. But if they're the ones who moderate said quality, and they're the ones who finance it, then it's all Sony's fault.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's like them saying, like, yeah, if we put this on PSN Plus, then we'll need to make the game worse. It's like, how about don't make the game worse?
Well, the thing about it is that if you notice the games that are PlayStation Plus, like, premieres, right? They're all lower tier sort of games. Like that, what was that one? The Overwatch, the Overwatch / Fortnite car battle game. They didn't spend. I don't think they spent anything like that. They didn't spend
Rocket League.
Yeah, well, not Rocket League. The other one, the one that
But
just
Rocket
came
League
out.
was on PlayStation Plus.
I know, but that's not that was not a Sony developed title. I'm talking about the one that just came out that I cannot remember the fucking name of.
Battlestar Royale or something.
Battle Royale.
Destruction All Stars. That's it.
Destruction All Stars. There, that game is one that they put on there day one because
An exclusive, by the way.
yes,
A
exclusive.
trash.
See,
So, Brian-
see what it see, but you see, you just said it right there. Your perception of it already was that it's trash.
It
That
is
it's
trash.
But like in other words, like so they dumped it on there to try to get people to get into it, and nobody bit. So again, like I feel like just the way their system worked, it sort of established that the big titles are ones that actually get sold in stores, and the medium titles get thrown onto their network.
So
Now,
Brian,
they can switch that around somehow, but at the same time, that would involve a totally evolving their system of doing things.
Yo, hold on. Assyrian Air Force. He said at least Destruction All Stars was a complete game compared to Halo.
I mean,
He's
I
right
mean-
though. He's right.
I mean, no, you haven't heard anybody complaining about that game.
Well,
Then again,
people have
nobody
complained
was
about
playing
it.
it.
Nobody was playing the game. It's like, Brian, what was it? 2 people was fucking streaming that game. You know?
Last I checked, there's nothing.
Damn.
Yeah,
But it was
There's
complete. It was complete.
So Brian, I have an analogy for you, and let me know if you agree with this. So this statement made by Sony is the equivalent of saying, "Yeah, honey, I know you want to go to the store, but I might cheat on you." So it's like, oh, okay, so we're gonna do what you do, but somehow I'm not in control of what I'm doing, when you have complete control.
Yeah, that's why. Well, that's the first part of why I had an issue with that statement. 'Cause it just seems like if Sony's in control of how much money they put into the game and they are the quality barrier of said game since it's first party, then how things go down if they're in control? That's what I'm not understanding with that statement.
But that's assuming that the game that they put on there is any good. Like they spend
Yeah,
they
but
spend
then-
billions of dollars on a game and dump it on this platform, and it
No.
on the idea that it will somehow be something, and it doesn't do any numbers. Nobody downloads it. That's a bet.
But then if they
That's
make
not
a
a-
shitty
that's not-
game, then
but
it's
that's
not
not
really
an
the fault of the service. It's fault
No,
of
but-
them having
so-
bad
But
quality
that's
control.
not. But it sounds like that they just make hits. There's nothing that says that any of we're talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, a thing that they thought was going to be an assured hit. It supposedly did well, but it probably didn't do numbers that they were expecting.
Let me translate it. So what Jim, who said the statement? I forgot who it was. Some dude in Sony said the statement. What they said essentially is, well, we could do a subscription service and put our first party games there, but they're going to be watered down.
Yeah, because
And-
because again, they don't want that. They're again, it's
Yeah,
the usual.
but
It's the usual toe dip because they want assured numbers. They don't want to take a bet. They're not
But what Brian-
Microsoft, but they're not Microsoft. They're not Microsoft where they have the money to make a bet. Anytime again, it's always the idea of a toe dip, and the toe dip is like, okay, they put a lesser game on the free service, because at least they didn't spend a lot of money on it, and they didn't bet too hard on it.
Yeah, I don't know what point we're debating, because I think you guys
We're
are
pretty
talking
much
about
talking the same thing.
No,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
my thing is like, okay, but then the only people that can water down the game is Sony themselves. So then why would Sony purposely
Just-
water down their game
But why?
to put it on
why?
PSN Plus?
But why is it assumed that just because they're spending less on a title that somehow the game isn't good?
That's what he said in the quote.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
Tony, can you read the quote again? 'Cause, like, he says that, then he says there's a line where he says that if they do, then they might need to spend less money and the quality would deteriorate.
Yeah, that was the first line. He goes, AAA games on PS5. If we distribute them on that subscription service, we may need to shrink the investment needed for that.
We
No,
may need
well-
to do it, so they will need
We
to
as
water it
Sony,
down.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which
they're
begs the
not.
question,
All that
why?
means is that they're not willing to bet on it.
So then, basically, they're going to set games up to fail, which is
No, it's
self-sabotage.
it's
That
no,
sounds like
it's not-
self-sabotage to me. It's
No,
like
it's
saying
not,
like,
it's not self-sabotage. It's not taking a bet. They're not they don't believe. In other words, they don't believe that the streaming platform is something to aggressively put serious money into. So they will put out, if they do put something out, it will not be something that they spent a serious amount of money on. They won't put a Horizon Zero Dawn on there to just languish on this system, on this thing, because they can't guarantee the sales off of it.
Yeah, but
So,
I get. Well, I think it's more of a conviction of your own properties. I think we're kind of tipping both toes. Where it's like Brian is saying, yeah, but I mean, you guys are saying you don't have faith in your product enough to sell a service from it, and Manny's saying, well, I mean, there the proof is in the pudding with, especially with the competitors with Microsoft, that their games they don't show sales numbers for a reason, because no one has a fucking clue how much money they make off of those games that come out day one on Game Pass. So
yeah.
it's a fine line.
Again, like I feel like in general, like it's another the another idea of the toe dip situation. They're not going to make a serious investment if they do, but they're not going to let something like a God of War or a Horizon Zero Dawn or any of their cornerstone titles be day one, but they will maybe take a chance on a smaller game.
Then that again, it's just the usual, as you said, it's the toe dip Sony approach where they're just not pushing hard enough, and it just frustrates me.
They're looking for constants. They're looking for assured numbers as opposed to just like betting on a theory that these things would attract people.
Well, they don't know until they try, and they don't seem to want to try, and that's my problem.
Yeah.
And
Sony. Also, the part two of why that statement frustrates me, and why Sean Layden's comment or tweets also annoys me, is it was him? Yes, it was him. 2 years ago, pretty much 2 years ago to the day, he actually came out with a statement saying that the current state of AAA development is not sustainable.
Yes.
And he says that the amount of money that they're pushing into games is too high.
Yes.
So if you look at that, and then the statement that the CFO made, they go against each other. Like, if Sony will have to not spend as much money in games, but also some guy at Sony is also saying that we spend too much money in games, it equals out. So there's no problem. Like, you have one guy saying, oh yeah, we may need to spend less money, and then the other guy is saying, yeah, we spend too much money. It's like, yeah, they both make the same statement. So
I mean, I think
how can Sean Layden be happy at what? Well, I guess I don't understand what Sean Layden's response to the CFO was about. Was it that yes, he agrees that lowering cost of game development is a good thing, or not putting games on PSN Plus is a good thing?
I think the lowering the game costs is a good. I think he's talking more agreeing with the idea of lowering the game costs, sort of staying with brand of his own thing. Or in other words, lowering the prices of games, the cost of games to sort of try to increase the the how much comes back. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much what he's going for. But he said this before.
It seemed to me like he agreed with the fact that that it would devalue PS5 games. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, I think he also agrees with that too.
Yeah.
Because it's like one. Here's the thing. One can't be something. One can't have the other, right? If you want the large, and obviously they've shown that the supposed large investment on these titles seems to pay out, but then the returns seem to get lower and lower, right?
Maybe, I don't know. By the way, welcome Mr. Brett Murdoch to the show. What's going on, Brett?
Mr. Murdoch.
And that's where the show ends. See you there.
Let's see if he hears us. Brett, are you there, sir?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. Starfield.
Fallout 76 sucks.
Bethesda.
I know what you guys are doing. I just got off the phone with the pizza people. What's the fuck? What's up?
Hey, what the fuck?
Wait,
I
Brett,
Brett,
Dude.
this is more interesting than anything that's ever happened in the gaming industry in the past couple of weeks. What happened? Are you still in contact with them? Are you testing your faith again? What's going on?
Did you fall asleep this time?
what are we talking about? I worked late, motherfucker. I made almost $700 today.
No, we're talking about the pizza. Remember the fiasco with the pizza company last week?
Oh yeah, no. This time they actually called me to let me know that they weren't going to show up, so that was cool, I guess.
You're like, but man, I'm still motherfucking hungry.
Well, like, here's the thing, man. Like, people, they keep calling me like, I ain't got no drivers. And I'm like, here's the thing. You're a pizza delivery place. Maybe pay more.
Well, you know what it is like these days. People don't want.
They're not working. Yeah, they're not working.
Like everything is understaffed. Yo, man, I'm gonna say this. You may have to go pick up your own pizza and deliver it yourself. Because
I got so much work to do. I'm gonna just DoorDash.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, Brett, Starfield, man, go off.
What about it exactly?
Oh! Wait, Brett, are you trolling me right now?
No, I've been busy. What's going on?
Oh no!
Oh man!
Oh my God!
Oh, what did I walk into?
Wait! I didn't grab my popcorn.
Yeah. Okay. Richard, by the way, Richard Bailey's joining us here. This shows you how monumental this is.
What's up, Brett?
How you doing, buddy?
Brett, before you find out, Richard specifically asked me, Tony, can I be on tonight? I need to be on for this.
Oh shit!
So you know what, Rich? Why don't you break the news to Brett? Why are we here tonight?
Okay, Brett. Perhaps you remember that Starfield had a release date of 11/11/2022.
Yeah.
Well, today Bethesda announced that Starfield and Redfield have been pushed to 2023.
That sucks. That definitely cinches Elden Ring for Game of the Year.
Yeah, and Brett, as you can imagine, Twitter was on fucking fire today.
Oh, dude, okay, like, if anybody... If you give anybody flack for delaying a game to update the quality and work out the bugs, Bethesda is not the company to get angry at for that shit.
Yeah, but the larger narrative is like, what does Xbox have this year?
Mm-hmm.
It has a ton of studios. Like
it has a lot of studios. Where's the games?
yeah, no, I mean that's what I'm saying. The conversation is always, but like, there's not a lot coming out from PlayStation either. Like,
no whataboutism. No whataboutisms here. We're talking about Xbox.
No. Hey, I'm not whataboutising them. I was gonna say, at this point in the cycle, everybody seems to be having problems. It's production problems. It's staffing problems. It's kind of par for the course. So like, yeah, that sucks. But like, for some reason, we haven't really hit that stride where all the games are coming yet. Like, I can only assume we're blaming the global pandemic, because at this point in the game, 2 years in, this is usually when like the wave crashes. So now I'm kind of standing here on the beach like, all right, so like, like a little thing comes in, washes over my ankles. It's like, okay, so this is the wave. I'm hoping that it's still coming, and I'm hoping that it's just pushed back. Spring of next year seems like it's going to get awfully crowded.
It's funny because we said that about this spring. Look what happened. No, Brett, that's the larger thing. This is more proof, and I'm just speaking, my opinion here, that this generation is a fucking wash so far. Yes, we got Elden Ring and a couple other games, but this generation has been fucking whack. And I will not, and I said this on Twitter.
Generation. Show me what this generation has fucking produced worthwhile.
That's what I'm saying, And Brett, I will not be surprised if God of War Ragnarok gets delayed, and they could use this as an excuse. Oh, they delayed their shit. We're going to delay our shit too. I wouldn't be surprised. Just think about it. Before, Sony had an incentive to release God of War Ragnarok to compete with Starfield. No Starfield, no reason to compete. So why release the fucking game?
If I'm being 100% honest, I'm still a little miffed at God of War, because I feel like you gave me part of a game, and now you keep delaying the other part of the game. Fuck, man. Come on. Yeah,
so everything's just getting delayed now. But again, what's going on with Xbox now this year? Like, there's nothing going on right now. It's hard.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think it was right. I mean, that is a big. That is probably their most flagship title at
Yeah.
Microsoft right now. So it's a big deal, but also it's it's got a lot of pressure riding on it. So I'm pretty sure they don't want to halo this mess up and just like have it come out and fall on its face. So it's especially with anything Bethesda, I'm like, yeah, clean it up. Like, please, if for no reason, like, because I'm 11 no matter what. Like, I tend to really love these kinds of games, these sandboxy games, but I do not want to hear shit from the rest of the fucking panel for the next 2 years for releasing a shit again. Like, so polish it up, just so I don't have to hear about it on here. Just so I don't have to hear about it every time I'm like, I like Fallout. People are like, that game's a piece of shit. Like, just please, as a fan, I'm asking you, just get your shit together so I don't have to hear about it anymore.
That's hilarious. So yeah, that was the big news of the day. Obviously, everybody lost their fucking minds.
The big news is, Rich, it's a double album, and it's out.
Wow. Well, yeah,
Over
that's
my head.
major news.
You'll talk about
Major.
Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. That's a double album.
It's
First album I
It's
ever
on that
bought for
level.
myself, man. Remember that shit that you give them a penny and shit, and then I didn't give the rest of the money. It's like $1 afterwards, and then they started charging me and shit. I was 11 though, They got a lot of people with that shit. Anyway, okay, so you got cut off. Anyway, last two stories of the night. So our boy Yves Guillemot, Ubisoft CEO, said they are not looking to be acquired by anybody. They said we got enough studios, we got enough money, we're good. No one's trying to buy us. We're not trying to sell ourselves. So
All right.
the rumors have been going around, right? It's like, who's going to buy Ubisoft? Who's going to buy Ubisoft? And apparently there was a rumor going around that Ubisoft was apparently looking to be acquired. So now, the main dude in charge, he said, no, we're not. We're good. We got enough money. We're straight. So for now, Adam, you're safe. Your Ubisoft is safe.
We got enough of the Assassin's Creed money.
Yeah. Yves Guillemot.
We have enough Abstergo money.
Yeah, right. All right. And the last story this is very disturbing, man. I just found out about this today as I was looking for some news. So apparently, a game. Okay, I'm reading this off of Gfinity, who broke the story. Even though they just looked at some Twitter bullshit. Game developer receives death threats following Trek to Yomi Game Pass tweet. Right. So a game developer, he went on Twitter. He was basically saying how Trek to Yomi, the 2D Ghost of Tsushima, as I like to call it, it was better for the developers to put the game on Game Pass because it would make more money than being on PlayStation Plus, right? He said that. Fanboys didn't like that, so they started going after him so hard, they actually started threatening his life over Game Pass.
Well, here's the thing. One thing about Microsoft and these deals is they actually give very good deals to the developers that decide to do that. I mean, one example is the game that I worked on, Some Sanity. We made our studio heads made the deal with Microsoft to premiere the game on the Microsoft on Xbox, for Game Pass, and it actually ended up doing quite well for them.
Yeah.
It got them more exposure, and they got a lot more things. So it's like what this guy is saying is not blasphemy as some people think it is. It is, again, it's Microsoft making these deals with specifically with companies to have these games on there for X amount of time. So, and they look at the sales and they'll be like, all right, you did really well, and get whatever out of it. So again, it's so because it's a bunch of children who don't fucking stand how the industry goddamn works.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
commenting on
this. It sounds like
this
somebody
shit.
telling me how tattooing works.
Exactly.
Like,
a person
oh,
who
really?
knows,
that's how you do aftercare, huh?
Yeah, exactly. A person who knows, an armchair fucking philosopher telling you how the shit works when you actually do the shit for a fucking
You see this
living.
shit all the time.
Here's the kicker. Because trust me, that shit happens. But then to have the person who is an expert in exactly what they're talking about say, no, it's this way, and then they go, no, you're wrong. What qualifies you to call this motherfucker out in the first place? Like, can I please see your resume?
We see that doing it all the time in other industries too. We see that in the medical. We see that with politics. We see that in corporate. It's always someone. Oh, I know better than those companies and those people.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you've read the medical research and can cite it to me, fine. Don't get me wrong. I did a lot of that during the caretaking that I did for like 6 fucking years. And sometimes it does work to help with the medical industry. Sometimes it does work to help with your local legislation by understanding the laws. But here's the thing. Nobody reads the fucking bills. Nobody reads the fucking research before they open their goddamn mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, I want to read what he said. The offensive tweet. Granted, he is not a developer on Trek to Yomi, but he did make a game that was on Game Pass, but he didn't disclose that part. A little bit more of that in a bit. So he goes, I guarantee you Trek to Yomi made more money being on Game Pass than it will in sales on PlayStation. We were paid nicely to be on Game Pass, and we weren't even part of any marketing deals. Trek to Yomi was an entire Game Pass promotion, just some food for thought, right? So he again, his studio, not the ones who made Trek to Yomi, he's speaking from experience. He made a lot of money, right? And then some people started going, "Oh, you're a fake developer. You're a fake developer. Prove the studio you work for." Right? And so he goes, he goes, yes, just let me give my game studio, my place of work to angry console warriors on the internet, because that's a great idea. Exactly. Don't give in to these fucking
Yeah, don't
people.
give in to the thing.
You know?
Don't be that fucking doctor.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
Fucking
Dr.
taking photos of
Fanboy,
people's
you know?
information. No fanboy information. If they don't believe you, who the fuck gives a shit?
And then he also said, I didn't post this because of freaking video game consoles. I posted this because I was thinking about my personal experience working with Xbox and knowing how big Game Pass deals can be. It's just a cool thing. Again, he's just giving his thoughts, his experience thoughts.
He's saying good for them.
Exactly.
Like, really, like, we're at the point in the world where someone's like, hey, somebody was successful. Good for them. And then a bunch of people come in, they're like, you're lying. Like, what?
Yeah.
But
again, Brett, this is the same reason where when I literally tweet Xbox Game Pass, I get fucking chaos in the comments.
I know. Like,
it's the same fucking people, you know?
I can't wrap my brain around the fact that people can't take 15 seconds to, like, check your tweet history. Like, this isn't even like this is specifically a Twitter problem. If you get into a Reddit fight, you best believe people are checking your fucking history to see where you stand on certain subjects and calling you out on the bullshit that you said in the past.
Yeah.
Nobody takes the time to do that in Twitter.
No, they don't.
I'm not really sure if it's the interface or the culture or whatever the fuck it is, but next time you tell Tony he doesn't know what he's talking about, realize that he does this professionally and he's a professional writer. All right? He does know what he's talking about.
No, I
He's
don't. I'm a
hosting
fucking idiot.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm a fucking
Well,
idiot.
people are just like, be like, what are your qualifications? Like, fucking really?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, kind of related. I remember, because Brett, my stance on game reviews and all that. I don't think people should put all their hopes and fears or whatever into them, right? So one guy said, no, we have to trust, he goes, a game reviewer's opinion is more important than ours. I'm like, okay, I'm a game reviewer. I guess my opinion is more important than yours, isn't it? And then he shut up real quick. It's like, come on, bro. Anyway, so Brett, you're going to love this tweet. I have to read this to you, man. This is what I got sent to me. Don't you get tired of hiding the fact that you're an Xbox fanboy? This is definitely wrong, but you are a top level instigator. The fact you keep saying quote unquote fanboy shows that you're just trying to stoke the flame every chance you get. You're a hypocrite. You're an Xbox fanboy yourself. Me.
Okay.
I don't own an Xbox.
Oh my god! Like, here's the funny thing about sounding certain on the internet. Anybody who you instantly knows you're a fucking idiot, right? Like, if you go to a party, right, and you're talking about world topics and things like that, this is just a general. I know none of the people that listen to this are probably going to need this advice, but just in general, right? If somebody says something, and you want to get into the conversation or have an opinion, right? As soon as you express that idea or opinion, anybody who actually knows more about the subject knows exactly how full of shit you actually are. Yeah. And all that does is invalidate you. So you may sound all high and mighty, but everybody here on the podcast is fucking laughing at you because you are absolutely certain about something you have no fucking idea about. And that just shows how dumb you are in the rest of the areas, which immediately invalidates you to any kind of opinion that I may let, any kind of weight that any opinion you make. Like, now you need to cite your fucking references because you're a known moron. Right? So instead of that, just don't fucking open your mouth unless you actually know something, because, and remember, this is the key part, everybody smarter than you knows you're full of shit.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Brett, you're going to love this. You know what that was a response to? You know what I tweeted out?
What's that?
Xbox.
Dude, yeah, I know.
No,
Don't get me wrong.
no, Brett.
You are. Don't get me
I
wrong.
literally just said 4 letters. Xbox.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. You are trolling
I
on
am.
a master level. It is.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. The thing, like, the bait is just so obvious. I think we're all just a bit surprised that it still catches.
By the way, Brett, it is trolling. I'm not even hiding that. But here's the thing: my tweets don't upset sane people. They only upset crazy people. And tell me I'm wrong about that.
Yeah,
know?
So in a way,
and that's what's so beautiful about
right.
it. Yeah.
You do stoke the flame, but here's the thing.
I do.
You're not stoking the flame with the console war.
Yeah.
He's just making fun of dumb people.
Yeah.
And that is a classic tradition I can only support.
Yeah. My tweets are there. These specific tweets, they exist to show how stupid these people are. Because they expose themselves. When they go into the comments saying dumb shit, they expose themselves. So I'm not doing it. They're doing it.
Oh, you're just. The hilarious thing is that you're setting you're setting the stage. For the trap, and they literally walk into it, even though the trap is obviously marked.
It's
labeled
labeled exactly.
It says trap on it, and they still fucking walk into it like a dumb idiot.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I mean, we're never gonna have a lack of really just uneducated, just dumb people having strong opinions about things they know nothing about. It's timeless, and unfortunately, we have Twitter now, which I know everybody's mad about like Twitter being bought. Like, really, I don't give a fuck because I stay off of Twitter. I just look at it from the outside. Like, this thing just seems like a machine to generate stupidity, and I have yet to see anything actually fruitful come from Twitter. I could be wrong. Again, I realize I might be the idiot here, but...
No, Twitter's a fucking cesspool. As this Trek to Yomi thing goes, this guy was getting death threats over these tweets. How insane is that? Death threats,
You guys are making us all look really bad.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, bro, because I tweeted this out. I'm like, this shit makes me embarrassed to call myself a gamer. It makes us all look bad,
Also, it's trash talk. Like, if I'm playing a video game versus somebody, I'm like, I will burn your house down. Now all of a sudden, I'm an aggressor and I'm a bad guy. I'm not actually going to spend the time to track you down, find where your house is, and plan arson. I'm not going to do that. I don't care that much. But I'll yell it online, sure. At least that's the way it used to be.
Yeah, no, but this guy's like going into his DM saying this stuff.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like you saying that shit jeopardizes me being able to yell about burning people's houses down. Because now people are going to think I'm serious because you're doing this shit. Like, that's weirdly the part that I'm most upset about. Like, fuck it, man, stop it. You're ruining trash talk. You're making us all look bad.
It's insane. Rich, what are your thoughts on this whole Trek to Yomi, developer death threat situation? If you're still there. Uh-oh. Maybe, there he is. Yeah, Rich, what are your thoughts on this, man? Because this is the first time we've seen instances like that, but it seems like it's worse now, over something relatively benign from an expert,
So, just let me know real quickly. What are they? What are the threats about specifically with the game? Are they just saying that it's?
Okay. So basically, a developer, he didn't work on Trek to Yomi, but he worked with Xbox Game Pass, right? Or had his game distributed through Game Pass. He said that if Trek to Yomi was on PlayStation, he says Trek to Yomi is going to make more money on Xbox Game Pass than it will being sold on PlayStation, based on his experience, right? So because of that tweet, the fanboys went fuck crazy so far as to death threat him,
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I will say this: as somebody who has beaten the game, I think the game is pretty good. It's obviously a totally different game from Ghost of Tsushima because it is a side scroller. It's not an open world game. It does have some exploration in it. But anytime somebody is threatening a dev, I think this person, these people have way too much time on their hands because it should never get to that level. Mm-hmm. And it sounds to me like, again, this is about the fanboy thing when they're bringing up Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation. Yeah, but the game itself is only $20. So any money that it gets, it's not like it's a $70 game that somebody's buying on PlayStation. They can get the same game for $20 on PlayStation, or they just get it free off of Game Pass. So,
but again, it wasn't the fact that they're mad about the game. They're mad that this guy was giving Game Pass props. Again, this goes back to the same people.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what it is. Again, it's the same kind of people that when I literally tweet Xbox Game Pass, they lose their fucking minds. It's these same kind of people. They don't like anyone saying anything positive about Xbox Game Pass. You know?
So let me. Well, no, go ahead.
They said sold on PlayStation, so like, wouldn't the inverse be true if like it were a PlayStation Plus game versus being sold on Xbox, like a subscription?
Well, we don't know
service?
what incentive Sony
No,
gives.
we don't.
You know?
But I'm saying in general, it seems that your game being picked up for like a freebie by a subscription service is generally pretty lucrative. I just want to
obviously, you know.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
it's because they're
like,
yeah, it's because they're
yeah.
making a specific deal. It's what happened with Fall Guys and stuff like that. It's the same sort of idea where it's like they make these sorts of deals, and it comes out for free on that thing. Sony has more of a habit of locking everything down and keeping it on their console, specifically.
yeah. So at the end of the day, like this almost feels like it's not even an issue about like which console. When you're talking, he's really just talking about being kind of picked up and having your game bought by.
Well, just getting one of those Game Pass deals again. Like I said, like we had that on our game, and it did very well. For our studio. So like, there's nothing wrong with making those sorts of deals. Like, it's just I think that the sad thing is that people heard the word Sony in there or PlayStation, and then it just set them off. But they're not looking at the fact as a developer, this shit is fucking hard. It takes a fucking long time, even the small shit. And if you can have a guaranteed check, wouldn't you fucking take it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Microsoft said to you, like, listen, we know you got this really cool looking game. What can we do to sort of, so that we can have it on our console and part of our Game Pass ecosystem? That's a guaranteed fucking check right there.
Yeah, that's big money.
Yeah. So, if somebody was saying, like, again, like nobody's thinking about this as a person trying to create a game or a studio that's independent trying to make a game. They're thinking of it all because of dumb bullshit console wars. You can't say that.
It's crazy what's happening right now. No, but you're right. It's like if the roles were reversed and this was like a PlayStation thing, I guarantee you this person, they wouldn't be getting death threats from those people. They may be getting threats from the other side, By the way, kind of a quick aside, because this happened to me. This is kind of related, right? So somebody on Twitter said that Microsoft was ruining gaming by buying all these studios, right? So I'm like, what if Sony does it? This guy, I am not kidding. This guy literally says, "Oh, it's okay if they do it." And
yeah. Oh God, no.
So I'm like, can you explain why he deleted the tweet afterwards?
Yes, because essentially he cannot.
He outed himself.
Why.
He outed himself because he's a fucking fanboy.
Exactly. It's the same exact thing. If Sony went rampant through the industry and started snatching up studios, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it is the same thing. But again, if it's a company they like, it's okay. But if it's another company, then no. These fanboys are crazy, man.
Again, like it's so weird, like how people are just so into the whole idea of a specific console. They throw all rationale out the window. It's like a fucking religion.
It is. No, man. It's a cult.
It's a cult. Excuse me. It's literally a cult. Like and it's all based off of their own beliefs. There's nothing in for coming from Sony saying that they should do this, they should do that. They've created this cult around this thing, and it makes absolutely no sense. Like I don't understand this. Like as much as I like I've liked the Sony ecosystem, I'm totally willing to say this is not fucking working, or this is a fucking toe dip. I'm not gonna fool myself into thinking that this shit is working. Certain shit is working.
Yeah, Carlos, by the way, put that as an idea for merch. A toe dip That's a
Toe dip.
throwdown thing now. You know?
A blue shirt that says toe dip.
Oh my God, Twitter, man.
Hey,
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
real quick question for you, Tony.
Yeah.
So the people that went after this guy in regards to his comment, were these same people celebrating today when they heard about these delays?
Oh, you know they were. You know they were. And I probably shouldn't admit this, but I'm gonna say it.
It is.
Part of me wants God of War Ragnarok to get delayed just so I can see the chaos. You know, because I'm being real. You know, because I don't give a fuck if if a game gets delayed. Fine, there's other shit to play. Who cares? You know.
Wait. Some people want to watch the world burn, Master Wine.
Yeah. So, you know, because again, the people that are celebrating right now, right? Because there are idiots celebrating. What are they gonna say when God of War Ragnarok gets delayed?
No, they're doing it for polish.
But then again, the fucking idiots on the other side are going to go after them, the stupid Xbox people, you know? So either, here's what I'm saying, it's like Xbox, PlayStation, they're all fucking idiots. Like, you know, the fanboys and stuff. Not the fans, the fanboys. There's a difference, you know? And we don't talk about the Nintendo fans around here, right, Chris? Oh, man. We've both been on...
They're their own
yeah, Chris and I have been, we've been on the receiving end of those guys, you know?
Yeah.
By the way, for you guys in the chat, if you don't really see me talk about Nintendo, there's a reason for that. The Xbox fanboys and the PlayStation fanboys are tame compared to... It is funny because Nintendo people, all they do is just play these little kiddie games all day, but they're the fiercest fanboys ever. Don't mess with Nintendo fans. I don't even fuck around anymore. I learned my lesson. Don't fuck with Nintendo fans. You know? Logic Wiz, he goes, Nintendo fans, me are a special breed. Yes, you are. I don't fuck with you guys. I leave you guys alone. You know? This is like, you know, Brooklyn, Queens got beef, but we don't fuck with the Bronx. You know? Don't fuck with those guys. Adam, you already know.
Oh, man. Don't take that 6 train, the 4 train.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do it.
You know, you got beef, Brooklyn, Queens. All right, keep that beef. Keep the beef. Don't go to the Bronx. I'll fuck both.
Yo, meet me at catch the train. Let's go down. No. What's that? What, South Bronx? No.
No.
Oh my God. Anyway, I think we're done. Yeah, I think we're done here, man. Good show. Rich, thank you for being on, man. And I'm glad you asked to be on. We'll try to have you back on. But again, you know, it has been a dry year so far, but I'm glad you were here for this monumental news. Disappointing news, obviously, but not monumental nonetheless, man.
Thank you. And I also will extend that invitation to any of you because, from what I understand, we definitely are going to do some type of reaction to this as the Xbox show next month. And I've already been contacted by a few alumni of Coalition who also want to be on that show. So,
oh shit, it might be a reunion, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rich, please, man, let the people know where they can find you, where they can find the Coalition, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so you can find me at and everybody else at thecoalition.com, Coalition with the K. We do have game reviews. We've been covering a lot of TV shows, of course, The Walking Dead. Adam's favorite show, Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah. So stay tuned. We have quite a bit of things that we're working on.
He fears that show.
Oh man, all right, good stuff, man, good stuff. All right, plugs. Do we have anything to plug around here?
For me, not right now. Waiting for the button to be pressed, and that's when the thing goes. But actually, you do have one thing to go. I'm going to be at the Phillipsburg Comic Con. This is a local Comic Con in New Jersey, which is run by the community of Phillipsburg. Which is done at their high school. So they have quite a bit of well-known comic creators, including myself and with Steve Harris and Will Rosardo are all going to be there. Just for a one-day event. And so if you're in the New Jersey area or live in Phillipsburg itself, why not come by and say what's up? I'll be at my table selling my wares.
Nice. Brett, you have something to plug, don't you?
The weekend of the 20th, I will be at the Villain Arts Tattoo Convention in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, speak up a little bit louder, so people hear you.
Sorry, I'm tired as a motherfucker.
Yeah, I understand, but got to plug this
the
stuff,
weekend
man.
of the 20th, I will be at the Villain Arts Tattoo Convention in Kansas City, Missouri. I will be tattooing and painting all weekend.
Nice, good stuff. And Adam, what do you have?
Like Rich said, he wasn't just joking. Yeah, we do cover The Walking Dead. I am Negan. It's Richard Bailey Jr. and myself, and we cover all the Walking Dead shows. There's 2 of them now. There was 3. Soon there'll be 6. So it's crazy. And then Carlos jumps in for the Walking Dead proper. Maybe we'll get him for the other spin-offs if they're good. So yeah, I am Negan. Spotify, iTunes, Coalition, like Rich said, with the K. Check us out, man. If you like Walking Dead.
Nice. And Carlos, you have something to plug too. I know it's a little bit older, but you could plug it.
Older.
Yeah, the Doctor Strange thing, right?
We still haven't done it.
Oh, you still haven't done it? What the fuck?
Oh, I thought you guys did it.
Yeah, I thought you guys did it.
Well, they're doing it this weekend.
Yeah. Okay, so we could plug what's coming up then. All right.
So this weekend, I believe, we are going to be recording a Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness review. It's going to be hosted by Dana Abercrombie and Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. I'm hopeful will join us as well.
Yeah, and I also can announce that Mr. Gary A. Swaby is going to be on that as well. This is why it got delayed, because he's not seeing it until tomorrow.
So you use your sling ring, and then he's gonna come in through the portal.
he's gonna join. He's like, I thought we were talking Overwatch.
he's gonna jump in. He's gonna be like Wakanda forever, it'll be like the end of Endgame where everybody's jumping through portals.
Yeah, so it's going to be on the Coalition YouTube, so make sure to check out there where we'll talk all spoilers. I have no clue what Rich thinks about this movie, so it's gonna be fun to find out. Then I have an inkling of what Rich's thoughts are, but we'll see during the podcast. We'll all be surprised. I don't think Rich knows what I think about the movie.
Oh no, I don't.
So we'll talk about that, and yeah, make sure to tune in.
I was thinking about when you tweeted out that Kojima picture. Like, I saw Doctor Strange. It's just Kojima. I'm telling you, I'm going to do that every single time I watch a movie that's whack. I'm just going to post a picture of, like I saw Bubba and just post a picture of Kojima.
Remember, what you don't say says a lot.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, man. So we're done here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter, and join the Discord where the rumors are always popping and where we get our news every single week. So shout out to the fans for providing us with the content that we discuss here. A lot of news stories, man. I actually had to drop a bunch. Like, this week was crazy. So shout out to everybody that's always posting stuff. I encourage you to keep posting anything that's cool. Throwdown, we are on every podcast app on the planet. Throwdown Show, we're talking about everything. Apple, iTunes, all that shit. Spotify, Amazon. What are the other big ones out there? We're on everything.
Everything.
Earthing. Throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. Audio Boom, but if you literally type throwdownshow.com, it'll redirect you to it. All the MP3s in case you missed it. We are also on YouTube, obviously. When new episodes go up every, Friday and Mondays, 10:45 p.m. Eastern, if I don't forget to upload them. And those are YouTube premieres. So you want to throw a little money our way at those, you go right ahead.
Yeah, and for the most part, I'm me, guys. I'm usually working on something. So if you feel so inclined to want to talk to me about while we're on the show, I usually have it on, and I'm watching along with you. Just nobody wants to talk to me. What's up with that,
man? Talk to him.
I bet if Sony showed up, they'd be like, "What the fuck is
that, fucking fanboy?" So yeah, if you have been watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when the episodes go up. Links to everything are down below. Once again, our show host Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good weekend, people.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
Brian Manjoma.
Xbox has nothing but hopes and dreams.
Shit, that's a fact. and Richard Bailey
America.
Jr.
For now, the X in Xbox stands for no first-party exclusives.
Oh shit.
Oh, dude.
Oh man. All right, guys. We'll see you on Sunday. Peace out.
There, guys.
Peace.